Hello and welcome back. It is, of course, my peaking mic, apparently. That's been exciting. It is, of course, Far-Fetched at _far_fetched on Twitter, bringing you some AEL high school action. I've been kept out of the high school league because I've been so busy with other clearly inferior tournaments, but today, I'm back. Well, I'm not even back. I get to be here. I get to witness it firsthand. I've heard the stories of the incredible plays and shenanigans which have been going on in the high school league, and I'm very excited to finally get to be a part of it. It's good stuff. Of course, this is our third week, if I'm counting correctly, which there's every chance I might not be. Yeah, I think I'm kind of excited for these actions. Excited to see what these teams can do. I've heard a little bit from the likes of Formal and Quan about how these teams have played, but yeah, I'm not an expert on this one. So, all of the unis we have today, they're going to be 3 matches, which I believe... Oh, actually, I can bring up right now. I've got a whole different graphic for it. There it is, right below me. Let's go. Actually, that first game, I will say, is incorrect. We've had a slight change of schedule. So, it's actually going to be St. Joseph's Geelong versus CWIC. That game will be running instead of our round 6 game. Round 7 will be, of course, as written there, I believe. And then so will round 8, which means CWIC will have to play a couple of games back to back, which I'm sure they're capable of. I'm sure they're well capable of doing just that. I believe I have a message. I don't, actually. I don't. My apologies. I am sort of running the ship today by myself, so you will have to excuse the fact that there is going to be a few delays and things like that, as I'm kind of getting everything set up, making sure that all of the buttons are pressed in the way they need to be. But whilst we do wait to see how that goes, I'm going to go over a couple of our fantastic sponsors. First of all, Rig Headset, what it takes to win, our gaming headset partner. They provide fantastic audio quality. I don't have mine with me today. It's a big loss, you know. I'm sure I'll be reunited with them very soon. Fantastic audio quality. If you want to play the best, if you want to hear the best, you have to go with Rig Headsets. Every little bit of audio information is so important in these games, and of course, it means you get to hear my beautiful voice in crystal clear quality. Second of all is our bubble tea partner, Chatime. Let us know on social media what your favorite flavor combinations, mix-ins, things like that are. We're always after new suggestions. I know there's a few people on Twitter who like to have a bit of a yarn about their favorite types, certainly. AOC, our gaming monitor partner. AOC are one of the best, clearest monitors you can get with frame rates, refresh rates, same thing I think, refresh rates and like display sizes as well as resolutions to fit any gamer's needs. Trust me, it's the classic line, you know, if you're not seeing properly, you're not like hitting properly. Okay, I messed that one up, but you know, AOC, one of the best monitors you can buy. If when events start returning to your local area, come and have a look at our displays and our AOC monitors. They are so fantastic. Predator, our gaming PC partner. You're going to see quite a few of their lovely ads in and around today's display. Of course, you saw the static image just at the top of the broadcast. Very nice stuff. I'm really excited to show these off. And finally, feed your game with Indomie. Game with Indomie to win. Learn more at indomie.com.au. It is our giveaway. Look at all those lovely prizes there. All of the products we just mentioned, except for Chatime. You have to get that separately. But to be fair, your noodles, your drink, goes pretty well with some Rocket League. So quite frankly, I think that's all pretty good stuff. I'm pretty excited for all of that. And of course, check out our lovely sponsors. Thank you so much to them. They are fantastic in making sure that they, bring us all of the best Rocket League action, as I'm trying to make sure I'm in the right lobby, which I believe I should be very soon. If you just give us one sec. Alright, there we go. So, we will be waiting for players to get into this first game. Like I said, is a bit of a change of schedule. The first match is going to be St. Joseph's Geelong Black versus CWIC. Looks like the players are pretty much ready to go. And I think we'll be getting into the match as soon as, they're good and proper and ready. As I just bumped my mic. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Actually, I have to let you see the action as well. There we go. Brilliant, much better. Here we are. Here are our two teams. St. Joseph's Black in the blue, Cath West in the orange. And this is going to be our first match here. It is a best of 5. Of course, you can see the display things up in the top corner for you. Yeah, actually, we may as well go over the team. There's H-Bomb, Misley, and Pajcom for the side of St. Joseph Black. Of course, the team in the blue we are following right at the moment. Up against Secret, Igor, and Tobag. Is Turbo-G? My apologies now. I'm not checking up on that one. We've got a lot to do. I've been here for the last hour pressing all of the buttons. But yeah, so these are our teams. These are going to be the two teams facing off. And it should make for an interesting open one. I'm not entirely sure what to expect from these two teams, but it should be good, right? No matter what, the action should be at least a little bit exciting. Right at the moment, it does seem like it's a bit back and forth, right? The first sort of game in these best of series is always a bit of experimentation as Secret goes high, tries to flick that one in. It doesn't quite work out for them. Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Rocket League, the opening plays are often, and actually a great goal there by Tobag, who is putting a pretty good display. Watch the pass from Igor, fantastic off the boards, no defenders quite in the right position for that one. Brilliant stuff. But yeah, for those of you who aren't super familiar with Rocket League, it always opens with usually a slower game. We don't see the scores going until sort of the, usually the minute to 2 minute mark. Kind of a little bit early on that in this one. It's teams feeling each other out, understanding what's gonna happen to try and win this series. It usually accelerates over the course of the rest of the games. Right at the moment though, Cath West are doing a really good job of just trying to put the ball on target and trying to set up as many goals early, trying to take that lead and run with the momentum. If they can run 3 in a row here, I'm sure they're pretty happy. Tobag goes to the double touch off the backboard. Doesn't quite work out for them though, as the ball just goes back into the center of the field. H-Bomb tries to flick it over the top, not too much success. But again, yeah, this Cath West team is doing such a good job of just holding the attack down, of not letting their opponents get any sort of clearance, and making sure the ball stays in that attacking area, and they get one from the middle of the field as well. Igor does just ping that one straight through. So a 2-goal lead this early into the game, that means that's pretty good, right? That's a pretty comfortable situation for them to be in. Not the fastest goal, but at the end of the day, if you're able to pull those defenders out, that's a pretty good spot to be in. You're feeling pretty comfortable when you're there. It does seem like there's actually some pretty good players coming through. I mean, it's always an odd thing to analyze some of these teams and to talk about sort of the respective skills, because we do a lot of events from uni league to sort of regional leagues to things like that, and it's interesting to see the differences in skill between these sets. Sometimes you see these university players step up in these incredible ways, in ways you kind of just never expect university level players to play at. And I've heard the same sort of thing going from the high school leagues. And to be honest, Cath West are putting on a pretty good display here. Igor with a great dribble, tries to pass it off to Tobag. Tobag doesn't quite read the jump, but gets close on it. And these are the sort of plays, what I'm talking about. The tight rotations on the ball, the ability to flick them over the top, the aerials and the centers on the ball are just so fantastic. Like, Igor plays it off the corner here really well, has that quick tight rotation and just solo plays it over 3 defenders. That's the sort of plays which if I'm coaching a university team and they do that, I'm giving them a pat on the back, right? That's something which, definitely the good old pre-pandemic practice sessions were, that would have been I would have been pretty happy with them for that one. So, the level of skill here, I was told to expect good things, and I'm not being disappointed so far. It is taking a bit of time for some Josephs to kind of find their feet, find the tires, I guess, probably a better way to put it. But Tobag, that was a fantastic little double touch into the corner. If we have another look at that one, you can kind of see how the ball just flicks over the side. Tobag does the barrel roll, gets it in. Really fantastic stuff. Has the name Ace in the Hole as well, the little title card caption too. And the other thing which is absolutely an equally important part of this game to scoring goals. Not quite, but I can pretend. And that is the style, the fashion, the flair of all of our players. As I just peek my mic again, apologies for that. Secret actually trying to run that one back as well. Gets it to Igor. Apologies. But yeah, it's the style. It's the best. It's not just the best on field, it's the best dressed on field. You know what I'm saying? So, we've got to have a look at all of these. I think it was H-Bomb. Yeah, no, it was MS Lixt, who is is probably the most stylish, has the sort of the gesture-ish Harley Quinn general vibes. I'm a big fan of that one. But you know, there's some good things on the other side, of course. Secret running that the BDS decal, I think. I don't know quite what that one is. I'm not as familiar with the decals as I probably should be. Secret goes for a big shot off the corner. They try and pinch it off the wall, but there's no third player there. And it's gonna kind of flop into the midfield. They go try and play it off the wall once again. These players playing pretty tight on each other right at the moment. It's a bit different to what we saw. They're using space to try and create openings and things like that. Kind of actually cost them a little bit. Here it is, St. Joseph's get a kind of a break. They managed to run almost all the way down the field before getting that one taken back from them. It does seem like Cath West kind of know how to go high. They go for a flip reset, but Secret is not getting the better of that one. The two defenders take each other out, and Igor just flips it over the wall and lands on the roof for good measure. I will say, I'll admit, that flip reset attempt from Toebag, very nice. I like it. The flip reset, getting all four wheels on the, all four of your tires connecting with the ball. Oh, that pinch! Straight down the center. That was just, okay, that was just absolutely sent. 114 kilometers an hour. You could not, I don't think you could set up a better pinch if you tried. You know, you'd have to get like RLCS levels before you see a pinch much cleaner than that one. Fantastic work for the side of St. Joseph's. But they still have a bit more work to do. H-bomb goes up high for the contest. Forces out a whiff from Igor as well, so now it's going to be kind of a bit more space on the defense. They have more time, a bit more ability to run around and make something happen with this play. H-bomb falls a little bit low onto this, and actually Pacham is the one who puts it up high. Pajcom, sorry, is the one who puts it up high, and it does take a couple of defenders to clear that one out. Toebag does whiff as well. Secret whiffs too, so this might be an opportunity for a counter attack, but they're just not going to commit to it. Igor pass it back to Toebag. It's a little bit sketchy there for a second. Thought that one might have been an own goal. Of course, it isn't an AEL streamer. We don't have at least. Has to happen. But that's not going to be it. As they just pull it back into the defense. And Toebag tries to desperately to sort of make some sort of setup off that one. Tries to keep the ball out of the defender's hands. But it's a little bit tricky there. Double commitment. Trying to clear the ball out, and they're not quite sure what to do. MSLY had some opportunities there, but didn't quite put them onto the target. Was kind of playing a little bit further back. You know, maybe St. Joseph's, if they do manage to pick up the pace a little bit, they might have something here. And there it is. Eagle finds another one to make it the scoreline, 1-8. The little cracked egg. That cracked egg makes me look really sad. Makes me look really sad. It looks really sad because it's like, I don't know, I get the feeling that it's cracked on like pavement, that someone was like trying to make eggs outside for some reason and it cracked on the pavement, and now they're just, it's just a bad day, you know? It's not how you want to start up. It's not how you want to have your breakfast. But there, looks like that's actually trying to almost break, see if they can get that 9-goal mark right at the moment for Cath West. They look pretty dominant in this game and pretty well poised to take this series as well. 3 seconds left. They might just get one more in. Secret finds it, and the end scoreline should be 1-9, unless Cath West, unless St. Joseph's find another one of those fantastic pinches we saw earlier. Not happening that time. But congratulations to Cath West for taking that first game. Now, of course, as I said before, it is a best of 5 series. You have to win 3 games in order to take the whole series. And that means that... there it is. That means that we're still going to have at least 2 more games to play before we say farewell to these 2 teams. But, you know, we've got to start somewhere. Potential for St. Joseph's to come back is there. It's not... I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't have to change stuff, because they do have to change up their play style quite a bit if they want to sort of take this one. They have to contest more in the air, I think, things like that. But it's not like it's out of reach. It's 1 game deficit. We'll have to see what they can, how they can bring it back. Rocket League is one of those games where it's incredibly volatile. One tiny play can change the course of an entire match. As long as they don't get too tilted, as long as they don't get too upset at their previous plays, there's a chance. You know, I mean, look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Cath West look pretty good. I think it's fair to say that they are pretty good at this video game we like to call Rocket League, and I would be very surprised if there are many teams in this league who can take game off them, especially if Secret's gonna ping shots in like that. And yeah, I mean, it does seem like they're just able to get the better of a lot of this positioning and things like that. They are able to find those sort of things, and that just gives them every avenue, more or less. I also think, I appreciate the advertising their peripherals. Not advertising their peripherals so much, but sort of getting excited about their peripherals. It's very cute. It's very wholesome. I enjoy that a lot. It's sort of weird because you see like, you know, people posting now looking for team and things like that. But I think, hey guys, I got a new keyboard or I got a new gaming chair. It's neat. We're excited for you, friends. Ego has an opportunity there though. Goes straight off that side post. Isn't able to dribble it back in though. So Pajcom and try to pull this one forward. Isn't there one goal lead right at the moment? We are still 4 minutes to play. And actually, Ego just slides that in from the side. That wasn't the most tight. It wasn't the tightest of angles, but it certainly wasn't one the defense was ready for. A whole 100-km/h shot. That pass was kind of textbook, you know. You talk about in sports of all kinds, and this definitely rings true for Rocket League. The best thing to do when when you know that you have a defender who's in the goal who's ready to try and make these clearances, is to try and put them in a situation where Toebag's having a few connection issues there. Thanks Auto Observer for really highlighting that one. I really wanted to let us know the state of the game there. Miss LX does, LS, Miss LY. Reading's hard. I'm just gonna say it. Reading is difficult. I'm sure our high school students are probably very good at it. Casters, not so much. Secret flicks it off the back of the crossbar though. Toebag still sitting back. Not having connected back to this game after that first goal. But yeah, what I was saying is when you know there's a defender in the goal, when you are moving to set up some sort of an attacking play on them and threaten the goal, and there's Secret finding yet another one for Cath West. But yeah, when you're attacking the goal like this and you know there's a defender there ready to go, one of the best bets is to make sure you have that passing option. If you have someone off on the side, you can redirect, you can change up the angles very, very quickly, and sort of create the situation where the defender doesn't know which angle the ball's going to come from. They have to cover so many different options with their movement that they aren't able to sort of really have a good answer for it. Secret finds one really from the other side of the field, almost completely. Straight off, okay, it was from mid-pitch, more likely, but off the wall. Great demo peak, stopping that first touch from the defender as well. Really good coordination. And something I'm impressed with is the fact that Cath West can more or less score goals from sort of anywhere. It feels like they have most of the techniques down. We haven't seen any of those big decisive kickoff goals. Okay, we have, but not quite in the same way as I think St. Joseph's have shown. So that's what might be one they're trying to take some sort of challenge back. Igo gets another one to make this scoreline 5-0. And yeah, they look pretty dominant in this game so far. All right, another opportunity there. Paj just doesn't quite get the read on that kickoff properly. Igor does get a great setup pass that almost makes the 1-2-1 play happen. Doesn't quite work through. Defenders trying to give as much respect to his play as possible. Didn't want to get their own goal themselves, but Secret just in a better position for it. And, you know, they're straight back in goal. 2 minutes 50 seconds. Whole 6 goals up right here for Cath West, as they just look so dominant right now. I will say, okay. I'm gonna change what I said a little bit earlier. I mentioned the Harley Quinn car. I mentioned the sort of jester aesthetic. I thought it was pretty good. I like a good little healthy dose of some Saturday morning cartoons. Big fan. But the one other car, I don't know. It wasn't Pajcom. It was definitely one of the blue team. It was definitely one of their cars. They had the little liquid effect on the front. I think it was H-bomb. Yeah, it was definitely H-bomb. That little like liquid effect. It kind of looks like when you dip like a one of those wafer biscuits or something like that into chocolate. How it looks in the ads specifically into like slightly melted chocolate, really good. I don't know. I think this the St. Joseph's team has got the style down. Struggling to convert that into gameplay at the moment, but they do have the style going for them. See, there we are. Oh, close up on it. Yeah, it's even rippled like chocolate. Big into that. Very much into that one. As actually it's Cath West kind of finding each other for possession of the ball right at the moment. Tripping over themselves, just a touch, not much of a punishment coming in from St. Joseph's, at least right at the moment. H-bomb tries to put that shot on target, doesn't work. But, you know, it does get kind of close, though. It does get close, and H-bomb managed to have an opportunity here, but Secret just has that extra boost, has that extra speed, pulls out in front of it, and just denies the shot once again. Right here, the ball's being very close to the goals as this LOI does, Does threaten that one a little bit. The flicker over the top once again. Igor just gets another one. 1 minute 27 left on the clock. 0-7 scoreline right now. Again, there's not too many other ways to put it other than Cath West is pretty good. A pretty good team. I believe if my schedule was correct, we'd had some last minute changes to it. But if my schedule is correct, I actually believe that this means that we're going to be seeing Cath West twice in a row. Well, this doesn't mean it. We're going to see Cath West twice in a row, regardless of the result of this game. But we are going to see Cath West again after this game. I'm going to have to see how they fare against other opponents, and I think that should be kind of interesting. Of course, this match itself has been pretty dominant, I think it's fair to say. I think, you know, Cath West obviously scoring on themselves, trying to make that meme scoreline happen. But, yeah, it's been pretty dominant by them. It seems like we've got a lot of, the sort of game slowed down. Everyone's just kind of happy to sit at this one and see what else they can do. Maybe like some show-off kind of plays, have a fight back and forth, which is, at the end of the day, what Rocket League is kind of about. This isn't professional play. I enjoy seeing people flex their skills. Chatime actually almost had a really good pass set up to their teammate. Didn't quite work through, going for the pinch as well. Again, this is it. This is like exactly what I talked about. That was a fantastic pinch, firing down the field. Can they get the second touch off that one? Not gonna happen if I go. I feel like this is kind of just turned into a freestyle tournament, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited about that as a prospect. I know I've said excited a lot, but I feel like if I'm being perfectly honest, if we just kind of see Cath West just keep scoring at this point just over and over again, I think that wouldn't be very interesting for our viewers. So, seeing a freestyle tournament, things like that, seeing stunts and tricks, that's a bit more exciting. That's something I'm a bit more interested in. Double touch from Toebag, putting it straight into the goal. 8-1 scoreline. It wasn't the flashiest, all right? Let's give it a 10, all right? In chat right now, give us a score out of 10 for how clean that goal was. Okay, on reflection, was kind of neat. Was kind of clean. The double touch off the backboard, pretty nice. All right. St. Joseph's possibly going to have a crack at this one. Pajcom puts it off the backboard as they want to pick it up. H-Bomb actually gets beaten out by the two defenders, but they do force a double commit here. Going to pull it down the wing as MS, well, Y, not going to be able to find anything more for it. They're just going to cross this one forward. Might get another goal. Does just at the end. Toebag gets that one. So, another game going the way of Cath West. We got that little bit of a freestyle tournament at the end. I mean, maybe it could have given St. Joseph's an extra little second on that play, because I think that big setup was good. Coming in with a double commitment was a little rough. I would like to see what their answer for that little mini sort of freestyle tournament was. But hey, you know what? It's all good. We hadn't written out any official rules. You can't break rules if no one's made them. Technically. I know, I'm a bad role model. Shh, it's okay. It looks like we're getting straight back into this next game, though. Just gonna have to wait for the teams to jump in themselves. And this is, match point right here for Cath West. Of course, that is how best of threes go. MSLY finds that opening goal. Again, it's a classic case of kickoff goals, as that was actually really neat. That was really clean. Gets it off the crossbar as well. St. Joseph's coming out with that early tempo play. I like it a lot. We'll see if Cath West, who have been the dominant team in this series so far, have some sort of answer. And that was with H-Bomb joining late as well. It's worth mentioning. H-Bomb, I think, left the lobby. Might have thought it was only best of 3. And yeah, they still found a goal. That was pretty clean. I like that. Really well done by the, I think it was MSL play? Yes. M-Sly. M-Sly. That's tricky. There are so many ways to pronounce these names. And too many players, especially when they get changed at the last minute. Sorry for messing up pronunciations. Actually, I think he went for the squishy save there off the top. But yeah. Didn't seem to work out. Not that time. Squishy saves are hard. I can't do a squishy save, And for those of you who are wondering what that is, it's where you save. Oh, yeah, I think I actually just explained it, and you half drop the goal. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a roller coaster save. Ooh, immediate demo into H-Bomb actually, as Pajcom gets a big clearance out. I'm gonna put the side of Cath West on the back foot actually, even though those demos are quite useful. H-Bomb, big 50 in the center of the field. No one there to follow up on a Secret's just gonna get the field positioning. Never mind, H-Bomb goes and takes it themselves. And that was a pretty good little sequence of plays. Secret gonna pass that back. H-Bomb almost had the read on that play as well with a pre-jump. It's almost kind of become a ones game right here. But Pagcom is there. These two players going fiercely at it as Pagcom just flicks into the corner as well. The soft tire touch is gonna keep it out of the hands of their opponent, at least for a little bit. Gonna try and play for the bumps, play for the knocks. Toebag tries to get a dribble across the field and absolutely does. Cath West pick up yet another one. This game is being closer, and another pinch, but this one wasn't quite on the right angle as Toebag's just going to run this one down the field, tries to flick it back off the top. Doesn't quite work out. Secret off the crossbar. Are they going to be able to drop it down? It doesn't even need to. The angle of that was slight, but slight enough. Plays off Pagcom as well, more or less. Sort of, it wasn't quite a 50, but it's pretty close. Secret just sort of chips it in like the perfect angle, perfect little arc, you know. Almost like you put a little bit of backspin on it. I actually don't know if that works. I swear backspin is a part of this game, but every player ever has told me that I'm just being silly. I swear. There is a slight level of backspin in this of spin influence in this game. Like when the ball bounces, it definitely has a slightly different bounce depending on how it's spinning. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just me being silly. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked, which I probably do. But I swear there's a little bit of that spin. If that's the case, I guess, yeah, okay, if that was the case, I guess we would see people using spin as a tech, but Pagcom doesn't even need it, just plays it off the side, gets that great 50 off the kickoff, and again, St. Joseph's just know how to make these kickoff goals happen. So we're still 2-4, it's still a rough deficit, but, oh wait, we have a rivalry here on the car designs. I'm sorry, this is important to me. We have a rivalry in the car designs. Toebag just puts that one away again. And Misty Sunshine kind of style. It's not bad either. But one of the opposing players to specifically H-Bomb has the same effect, but in like a caramel honeycomb sort of color. And I think that might be where the heat's coming in for this rivalry. Absolutely. Am I trying to ham-fist narrative into this cast? Probably. Do I still think it's cool, and am I really excited about it? Yeah, kinda. We'll need to check who exactly that is. This is an important thing. MSLY has another little save, keeps control of it, takes the 50, flicks over the top. A very nice play. Toebag does get the dispossession, tries to carry it through as well, doesn't quite get it, as Secret just puts it out a little bit too wide, tries to pinch it back into the corner, sets something up for their teammate to work with, doesn't quite work through, but it's okay, because they can just do it themselves. See this lovely little flick off the side, just over the top, binks it in, lovely stuff. Okay, here we are. Toebag tries to set this one up, go forward with it. Tries to get even more attacks on the play here. Oh, it's gonna be Igor. Okay, so it's Igor versus the big rivalry here is 100%. I've forgotten who has which cars already. It's Igor versus H-Bomb. That's how big rivalry is. Chocolate sauce versus caramel sauce. That's how I'm breaking this down. That's my peak analysis right there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. See, it's like honey. It's like I'm very colorblind, as may be becoming very rapidly evident. But it is that kind of. It's close enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's the rivalry. It's team. I don't know. Let me know in chat if you're team caramel sauce or team chocolate sauce. Because I'm caramel, but you know. Right now. It's Cath West. They're kind of just dominating. I'm sorry I'm segueing a bit in this game, but I'm not sure what else there is to talk about right here. It is just a very, very skilled team on the side of Cath West. I love the fact that St. Joseph's is still giving them something to fight with. Giving them a fight. Some of these plays have looked really good, especially some of the individual plays and things like that. They haven't quite found the passing, they haven't quite found the space they might have liked, but they are, you know, they are trying to make individual plays and keep stepping up for themselves, and I think that's really good, and that's what sort of makes a Rocket League player into the future, specifically. There are some players who have natural talent, and that's a big thing. You know, that's natural talent. It's something you can't teach. But on the flip side of that, that ability to keep fighting well into a play which feels lost is incredible. I think there's a lot of value to that. So huge respect to any player who can do that, because that's essentially the attitude you need to improve and to get better at the game and to eventually become one of those top players and to sort of make up for that lack of talent if you don't have it. I don't think anyone lacks talent on this field. I know they look a lot better than I did when I started, not even when I started playing Rocket League, years into when I was playing Rocket League. But there are some players who just have this incredible innate ability to pick up a controller and just run the whole field. And even if you're a decent player, you come up against that and you're like, oh, what am I doing with my life? So if you can kind of make up that difference from these players who are just incredible for with kind of very little effort, if you put in the work, you could easily overtake those players, even if you are like someone who's more like me, who's not the best, who would probably get destroyed by all of the high school children in this field, if I'm being honest. Which, you know, I tangented a little bit there, apologies, but I do think that St. Joseph's attitude is admirable, and I've really liked watching them in this game. 1 minute, 10 seconds left. I don't think they're going to find 7 goals. If I'm being perfectly honest, don't think that's going to happen. Right here, Tobag does sort of get the flip reset, gets almost stolen by Secret there in that play. Pajcam, sorry, trying to look for a pass, doesn't get it, just gets intercepted by Igor, who just flicks it straight into the goal, 180 kilometers an hour, quite fast off the Pajcam. The Pajcam pass attempt, and there it is, 2 to 10. That is a pretty big score deficit. I'm gonna be, if I'm blunt, that's a pretty big score deficit. It's also not that common that we see teams get to double digits. It is kind of just the way of this game in particular. I think it's just sort of, when a team is as good as Cath West, they tend to usually just be able to run play after play after play after play. Yeah, things like that happen. It just kind of happens. Rocket League is a weird game. Oh, it's a weird game. It's a fantastic game, obviously. But it's kind of an odd one in the sense that, you know, it's very easy for a tiny skill gap to blow out, I guess. And it sounds like I'm making excuses, but fundamentally, I like to said it before, Cath West, fantastic. But it is very easy for one small skill gap to become a massive goal advantage. I don't know how much these guys play. I don't even know, like, I know from personal experience trying to run uni teams how many times there's been like 2 people who play the game and 1 person who's picked it up to make numbers. And that might be the case in, you know, also the high school leagues as well. I think you get a fair bit of that. So I don't know how much any of these players have played, but I'm not disappointed by the level of play I'm seeing. I'm absolutely not. I'm not sitting here feeling like no one on this field knows what they're doing. I think that they understand the idea. I think that Cath West is able to put the ball in really awkward situations. I think that St. Joseph's, in time and practice, will be quite decent players, you know, especially because they are very young in the grand scheme of competitive gaming. They are all of these players are quite young, and as such, you know, got a fair bit to learn. But as a base, St. Joseph's look really good. That said, with 1 second to go, the ball is, we don't even think we're going to have time to make it the kickoff. Maybe? Yeah, there it is. All right, held that rule 2 in place. Tobag's just going to clear it, and there it is. CWIC take themselves a 3-0 victory over St. Joseph's. And if I'm not much mistaken, again, the schedule has changed a little bit. Hello, it's me again. The schedule has changed a little bit, but if I'm not much mistaken, we will be seeing them again in our second series. 2 more series coming your way. Thank you so much for tuning in, and also, you know, stay tuned, ideally, for more action, more Rocket League action from the high school AEL League. Hello and welcome back. My name is Fetch, the dramatically crosslit. I'm going to be your caster for the rest of this afternoon, as I was for the earlier part of this afternoon. It's funny how those things work out. Botched intros aside, this is the AEL High School League 2021. It was a very interesting game one. It was kind of not as big and dramatic as we might have hoped. Some good moments in there, of course, some very, very incredible goals, some great fights from both sides, but we are moving on to our second game of the day. Gosh, I have so many buttons here. There it is. Our second game is, as scheduled, it's going to be GSLC Gold versus CWIC. I believe the players are getting pretty close to ready to go, and there are a few of them in right at the moment, so we'll have to wait whilst we find the rest of those players. Make sure they're good. There we are. We just found out that they are joining. Of course, this is the team who just played, so I think they need a second. I certainly did. To have a breather, have a break, have a little bit of water. Remember to stay hydrated, everybody. And once you're hydrated, once you've made sure you are sufficiently hydrated drinking water, you can order yourself a Chatime, of course, on all of the best delivery applications and in store if it's safe to do so in your area. So, the teams are pretty much ready. Actually, it's exciting. I'm excited, at least. You don't have to be, but, you know, I feel like if I were you, I would be. So, T is pretty much excited. Team's pretty much excited, ready to go, I should say, as our next game should be starting off any second now. I'm gonna click spectate on here. I don't know if you can quite hear the crowd noises. They're very, very good. They're getting me kind of ready for some more carball. There we are. We got the official word that we're good to go. So, I'm gonna throw you over to the field. Here are our players. We're going to have CWIC once again in the orange and GSLC in the blue. Here we are, all the players connecting to their assigned positions. Dory, KZ, and Zon in the blue side for GSLC. And, of course, I haven't changed over the team names. My apologies. I will do that right now. Again, I have too many buttons to press. Far too many buttons to press. Oh, I put them in the wrong spot. That's alright. Silly Fetch. Oh. Okay. So a bit of a behind the scenes here as to what goes on in the state of OBS. There it is. Should be better. Should be fixed now. So a little bit behind the scenes on what goes on, as we actually see a score come in very early from GSLC while I was trying to fix all the production. Fun fact: me in my ever omnipotent brilliance labeled the wrong sides of the screen with the wrong names. So I smugly changed the left-hand side, which became the right-hand side. It's all backwards, back to front, left to right. But I believe we're here now. I believe everything should be working just fine. Should be able to hear me, should be able to hear the game, should be able to hear these players going at it. As Dory just flicks one over the top, comes off the sidebar. Zon coming around to try and capitalize on that one as well. Igor just tries to take the contest, tries to take the 50. Doesn't quite work out for them though. Secret now pings it down the field, so their teammate is there to back them up. Possibly going to go straight for this shot. The defender did go wide to get that boost, and Zon goes up high. Has possibility to pass this one down, isn't going to take it, just goes straight on target. And a good interception by the defense. KZ is there. Doesn't even able to keep the ball for too long. Neither of these teams holding possession for too long in these games. Again, remember last game I mentioned the fact that often these first games, or last series I should say, I mentioned the fact that most of these games are quite quick. These first games are quite sort of slow-paced, I should say. There aren't many goals, there's a lot of time taken, they really get a sense of who their opponents are, how they're going to play. It seems like High School League kind of throws that out the window, and I'm happy enough for that. You know, why not just have action right from the word go? Zon flicks over the side, a great flick as well to beat out two defenders. And this is something we talked about a little bit in that last series, the fact that when you want to, at best, be using space. You want to be putting your cars in, not having your cars too much stacked up on top of each other, because if an attacker runs through, they can flick the ball over one player, and it's effectively flicking it over two. In fact, it's actually literally flicking over two in that case. But if your players aren't staggered vertically, it means that you only have kind of one line to break through, and once you've done that, it may as well only have one defender. So really, really good stuff, of course. Yeah, really, really good stuff for GSLC. I was really worried that I had it wrong again there. I was incredibly worried, but no, we're good. It's just, well, production's hard, friends. But yeah, really good stuff by GSLC. Their opponents here were able to do a little bit in that play. Like, they did have some good, they did have the right idea jumping up and testing, but yeah, being stacked like that on the on that lateral line, to use a rugby league term, can create some kind of issues, and that, you know, we saw that sort of its full effect. Ego now is going to try and flick this one down the field. Zon actually is going to run it themselves. Has the possibility to play off the backboard, doesn't get an opportunity, it's going to waterfall straight down. KZ just picks it up and flicks it straight in. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go, and right at the moment, it is GS in well in control of this one. So I really liked what I was seeing from CWIC last series. They, genuinely, some of the plays they were going for flip resets, they were really getting into the series. It's interesting to see them challenged like this immediately after. I am impressed with both these teams. Tobag tries to flick it down the field, get some of those setups which they saw earlier, and there it is. There's a big own goal for this series. Might not be the only one, but Dory tries to put an awkward spot, but it just ends up being on secret. The defender tries to come through and save it. To be fair, I don't know if that ball was going on target if Zon didn't touch it, so I think it's one of those kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't situations, but at the end of the day, that is still CWIC in back in this game. Right now, Zon just pulls it down the field. They want to try and build that lead back up. Ooh, Dory plays it off the side as well. Just sort of pings that one in like an air hockey shot. I don't know if there's actual... Oh, actually, this is something I need to look up now. This is trivia I need for casting. Are there names for the air hockey techniques? I'm sure there are. I'm 99% sure that every air hockey shot has its own unique name, and, you know, there's different techniques behind it. You know, there's probably like different variations of each shot, but I'm sad that I don't know them. Zon, good save. Just flicks out, doesn't get it to their teammates, doesn't get much of a clear off either. He's able to actually follow it up with a decent clear going through the air. Doesn't really need to make too much in the way of attacking pressure right there, but still finds it. KZ plays it off the corner. Dory, with a really tight angle, is able to just about put that one in. Jeez, now I want to... That's a rabbit hole I really want to go down. I'm sad that there's no one here to, like, do the research for me while I'm talking, because this is a little known thing, okay? When you're casting, there's this kind of... I think it's more so in person, but you do see it online occasionally, where if one person says something completely baffling, the other person will often just start talking, just monologuing about that thing, just trying to buy time for the other person to look it up. It's not something which, again, it's not something which is super common, but it does happen from time to time. It makes us look very smart when we get the right thing. We say the right thing, say something, pull some very obscure trivia out of what seems like nowhere. Sorry to run the magic, but it's true. 3 players all kind of bumbling over each other right at the moment for the side of CWIC. They are, yeah, they're not in the best, most comfortable positions in this game, but it's not like they haven't been fighting for the ball. It's not like they haven't been keeping up contests, trying to take 50s. Again, I want to see them use more space. If they're stacking on top of each other, they're kind of minimizing the usage of all 3 of their players. And obviously not quite ideal. Dorage puts that one straight forward, comes off the crossbar. It's just there. It's just dribbling over. Didn't quite get it. Great smother by Tobag to try and keep that one up and forward. And Dory, just a great little side-to-side flick dribble. Straight in. There's the field hockey fundamentals. That's the sport very close to my heart. You flick it back from one side to the other. You beat out one defender, beat out the other. Easy. Alright. Back in the play, 7-1 scoreline. This is the one which CWIC wanted to get in that last series, but weren't quite able to. But if they do stop going for these double commits, if they do stop putting so many players on the same side, and, you know, kind of ball chasing, they might get stuff like that as Tobag puts another one in. Actually, is that their first for the series? Who has been scoring goals in this one? Yeah, so one for Secret, one for Tobag. And they've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. You know, they've got to be feeling a little bit better about themselves, what I'm going to say. They don't feel too good. They are going down pretty heavily in this series, but they have to take time to collect themselves. First game of a series is usually not as indicative as the second, so if they focus up here, there is a good shot for them, but they have to do it. It's, you know, one thing to say, oh, they can be fine. It's another thing to actually see them put that work and that effort in to be in that spot. So there we are, just have to adjust a few things. It seems like we're all good. Okay, next game. Game 2 of this best of 5 series, as you know, all of our games today will be. And yeah, GSLC looking really good straight out of the gate here. Liking what I'm seeing for both these teams. As people who watch this stream regularly may know, I am not the regular high school caster. That is, I'm supposed to be, but it's just sort of schedule's been a bit tricky in the last couple of weeks. But I've been hearing from the other two who've been casting these series that the level of talent here is way higher than it should be. Like, you know, you shouldn't be having high school players pop off quite this hard. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I think it's amazing. But, yeah, there's going to be some good talent in the Oceanic region if these players stick with it. And I think that's so brilliant. So here we are. This time it is CWIC. They're the ones opening the scoring. Zon wants to play this one a little bit slowly. He's going to try and flick over the top. Tries to get a couple of defenders to bite and does get one. And that was just an individual piece of brilliance by Zon. I think the most tragic part of that play right there is the fact that CWIC fixed the problems they had in that last game, but Zon just shifted up a gear, found an extra mechanical outplay to beat out all 3 defenders. Huge credit to them for that one. But again, like, good points to the defense for doing something good, and they've found the turnaround play from their opponents in the last series, those kickoff goals coming in and keeping themselves in the lead. Zon might feel a little bit sad their goal got immediately answered, but I'm sure they'll be firing back and looking for that one again. Not the fastest goal, but at the end of the day, if you put it on the right spot, it doesn't have to be. This time, a kickoff goal is in a pretty dangerous position for GSLC. They have some space and some options to work with right now. Zon flicks it up high. Is going to try and play this one off the wall. They have something. Do they have any passing situations? Not really. They try and make a solo play up. It gets past 2 of the defenders. That backboard defense is so hard to play, especially at this level. It gets sort of pro play before you really start seeing people master that Dory with a really good clearance out as well. A couple of players trying to run up together. Igor doesn't quite get the touch they might have liked to pinch off into the corner. Again, it was a double commit, but they all kind of worked out. They kind of got away with that one for now. Igor playing such a good job, just solo defending right at the moment. Good call from Secret, making sure they're the ones to take it, not let their opponent, not trip up their buddy. Zon goes for the mechanical individual play. Kind of gets dispossessed. Actually, a great 50 going the way of Igor, and has to be picked up by the rest of the attacking line from GSLC, who are, to be fair, back on the attack now. But this is what I'm saying. This game is picked up in terms of its pace. It's picked up in terms of its back and forth. The 50s are harder. The CWIC squad are going so much more for the goals, and they're getting rewarded. Igor just slips it out of left field beautifully. They've carried this ball all the way. They flick it back into the wall to make it harder to get a defensive touch on. Zon has to respect the pass. Zon has to respect the shot. And at the end of the day, there's just too many things to cover for. Great play by CWIC. It's not, they haven't actually been getting the most of the possession either. It has felt like it has been the blue team picking up most of the possession. They've been having, maybe if not more shots, more opportunities in their attacking half, and that looked really good for a few seconds there, but it wasn't quite on. So they just need to find these better connections, make sure these passes are going through if GSLC want to make sure they are scoring. Zon put the ball up high, goes to kind of no man's land. I might see a 50 for that one, not going to be contested as KZ gets some space to work with. And I think this is something which we don't really want to see CWIC doing. We want to see them kind of getting in the face of their opponents, making sure they have to play the close game, because it seems like they did that pretty well. Igor does try and take that one off KZ, but didn't have the angle, had to kind of try and play an awkward inside track onto this one, so Tobag just didn't see KZ coming, and they just have the speed and the momentum and no one can catch up. Back to 2 and 3, with still a whole 3 minutes left in this game. It's been so close, and I've loved kind of seeing the movements around the field. It does feel like this game's going for a little bit longer. It seems like there's been so much happening, especially in terms of the adaptations and cat adaptations. The pinch in, I don't even know if it was quite a successful pinch, but they went for it, and it was rewarded with a 97km/h shot. All right, that has to be, given the angle they were at. Beautiful stuff. Lovely stuff. That's just textbook Rocket League. To pull out of the corner as well off such an awkward landing, that is so good. These players are actually incredible, man. I don't know how to better explain it than just, I need to have like a picture-in-picture right here of my camera. Fantastic save from Tobag, actually. I thought that one was done. They did manage to pull it back through. KZ goes up high for it. Is going to make some sort of aerial play happen. It's not going to quite work for them. Secret tries to play it off the wall. Doesn't quite work out. But right now, the blue side, they do have the attacking pressure. They go for a double commit on the attack. It might be something which is punishable if they can build up the speed. KZ is going to be the only player back. Just puts it into the corner. Tries to buy a bit more time for these rotations out. Gets it over to Dory. A missed touch. Doesn't hurt them too much, though, as they're just going to go for the aerial play. Let it bounce down. Secret actually gets full-on spear tackled by Igor. That's not fair. That's not right. It's easy to do in Rocket League. I'm just having a bit of fun with them. But yeah, this series is delivering. I'm getting into this one. 2 minutes left still. KZ wants to set up an attack right at the moment. We are facing an overtime, but I do expect more goals in regulation. Zon plays it slow, baits the defender. Fantastic individual work once again from this blue side player. GSLC take themselves the lead in this game. It's the first time they've had, unless I have really bad memory suddenly, I think this is the first time they've had the lead in this game. The first game of the series looked so dominant from them. Their opponents stepped up, figured out what they had to do to kind of challenge some of these plays they were struggling with, and now they've been forced to find their own sort of extra level into this play. And Zon has been the one to really spearhead that, I feel like. Great pass down to KZ, but it's going to get spoiled by Igor. It's a 1v1 for now, but Dory gets the better of it. But Secret, great read on the play. They're going to cross it across the defense. Never do that. Number one rule of all ball sports. Never clear cross goal. Zon thinks they can get away with it. Igor is there to punish. Okay, actually, I don't think they were even going for the cross goal clear. I think that was just a regular clear out. It's just they didn't have any other options to take it. So fair enough. My apologies, Zon. I did probably go a little harsh on you for that. But yeah, it was just fantastic positioning, kind of marching up that defensive line from the side of CWIC to put themselves back in contention for this game. 4-4 right at the moment, again, threatening another overtime. The way these goals are coming through, we might still see another one. Maybe even a couple more. I don't even feel like I can say the next goal is going to seal it. Good stuff from Igor to set it up, catch the defense in a bit of an awkward position, but Zon with the heroics off the back of that save from KZ as well. Zon just puts that one forward, but again, they're not finding the touch. They're finding touches, but they're not finding big clears. They're not finding passes necessarily to their teammates. They're sort of getting boxed in by this attack from CWIC, which is exactly what they need to do. It's exactly the sort of thing I was talking about. Looks like Dory has some room to fly. Is going to pass it off to KZ. Now they've got that space. Can they work with it? Not right at the moment, but it's getting back to this close game. It's CWIC pulling it back into this close quarters match. For the second they find space, Dory pings it in. 30 seconds, only a 1-goal lead, which is not enough in Rocket League to really feel comfortable at least. But my gosh, was that incredible sequence of play back and forth from these teams. They know what they have to do now. They understand their opponents, and I think this next 30 seconds is going to be some of the most, is probably the most crucial in this game, unless we see something like a Game 5. But I don't think we're going to get there if we don't see something big in this series. You know, you got to think the momentum is just going to be with CWIC too much. Oh, sorry, with GSLC too much if they can't make this play. Dory just picks this one up. Remember that even if the timer ticks 0, if the ball doesn't hit the ground, we still have a little bit longer in terms of that regular game time. 9 seconds left. The ball's in the right spot to take this to overtime. Secret tries to put it on. It doesn't quite work out. It's in an awkward spot. It's in that defensive corner. Igor, can you do something with it? It goes high, and Zon just wants to ground it, and does. GSLC take it 2-0 in what was a really, really good game. Whew, my gosh. That was good. That was well done to both teams. That was very, very exciting. I don't know if CWIC have what it takes to come back into this, though. I'm going to be honest, I think it's rough. I think the momentum was just so... They had that glimmer of momentum. Their opponents are clearly fantastic. Both these teams, I should say, are very good at Rocket League. They have some incredible skill there. But I feel like maybe GSLC have sort of picked up the momentum here. I would love to be proved wrong. I would love to see the series go to 5 games, especially if we get games like that. Absolutely, we'll be perfectly happy. But I don't know. It's hard to say. All right, here we are. Igor back on the play. He's going to try and set up some sort of kickoff goal. It worked pretty well for them in the last couple of games, especially because it does feel like GSLC are their best when they've had time to form up and had time to move, exactly like Zon does now. Doesn't get the touch they might have liked, so it's going to be a chance for a clearance out. Very good stuff. Dory just gets kind of knocked off the back of that play, I think, and Secret has an opportunity off the backboard. Where's the teammate? It's Igor in the corner. The bottom left bin. It's such an awkward place to save from, especially with the defensive line. They were both rotating back to try and stop the original touch, and Igor just puts in the bottom left. The perfect control, the exact right spot for that ball to be. Zon was over the other side, and yeah, honestly, fantastic stuff. Maybe if they put the ball in the top left, it would be perfect, more perfectly, as I would absolutely be scolded for saying. But yeah, like, you know, it was a very, very good shot. Igor did a fantastic effort there. The passing setup, I don't know who that was. It might have been Igor as well, but I think it was one of the other teammates. I think it was Secret, but I don't know. Fantastic work. Igor tries to go up for that one, doesn't get the touch onto it, doesn't even able to get the smother as Tobag's going to try and run up the side. KZ plays off the backboard, and actually a really solid backboard defense. There were 2 defenders committed to that one from CWIC, but it was still good stuff in the way they were able to control that. Dory going for a big aerial play, doesn't quite get it. Secret gets the ball dispossessed. They are only 1 goal up at the moment, so you can see the fact that they're fighting for this one, trying to really establish themselves as a threat in this series, not letting the momentum pull over. Tobag tries to go for a contest, but there's no one back, which means Dory gets the crossfield goal. One of the hardest skills in Rocket League is knowing when to attack and knowing when to sit back and just let the ball cross. And when to sit back and acknowledge that attack is done. Pro players struggle with it, uni-level players struggle with it, and clearly high school level players aren't immune to it either. But I don't feel too rough about that one if you're the orange team. I mean, obviously it feels bad you get had that goal scored against you, possibly could have prevented it. But at the end of the day, you have to commit that hard if you do want to make the goals happen. So I'm a bit more inclined to be lenient on that one. Right at the moment, they're straight back on the attack though. Great smother though by Zon. KZ gets a demo as well, so now it's going to be a straight back on the rotate for our orange side. Bag flicks over the top. Igor is there, tries to take a 50. Does it really well, actually. It might be dropping down in a really awkward way, but Zon just pulls it out to the corner. Does win the contest as well. Igor's there. Ball's going to go wide, though, so they just take the time to get that 100 boost off in the corner. Zon tries to make a waterfall down. KZ tries to pick it up. A good potential passing play, but they didn't actually get the connection as we're on board with Secret. Doesn't have any teammates right next to them, but has a great individual aerial play. Dory does pick that one up off an awkward landing in Igor. The rotations back through, I think, for CWIC are really good right now. It's what's keeping this game a lot closer. We're not seeing double commits. We're not seeing players take up too much of the same space. They really are looking in their own. Those demos, though, starting to come through on the flip side from GSLC, that should let them buy the space, which we know they're so good at working with. So I like this from both sides, that even just scrap that, just a demo goal coming in from Zon. This is really, really good stuff. Takes it off the first player. There's one you don't have to worry about. Gets the shot, gets the demo, clears it into the goal. And to be fair, CWIC tripped over themselves a little bit, but again, Zon just does it when their team needs them. Maybe not needs them most, but when the team does need them, they step up. Dory now trying to be that player who creates some kind of pressure. I think it's been interesting seeing the role of each of these players in the teams. I don't think CWIC have as defined roles. There might be an opportunity there. Secret cannot quite put that ball forward. Igor tries to keep the play a little bit more active. Tobag tries to make it a bit tricky. A triple commit, and they still couldn't get it because Tobag's shot was just too clean. Oh boy. All right, so right now, back to even state. Again, I wanted a game like the last one. I wanted a game as exciting, I think, and boy, are we getting it. Igor, very delicate situation to put in. They managed to find somewhat of a clear off the backboard. Zon just gets demoed. Now as I can see both times get in on this demo game, Dory actually gets the ball taken off them. Igor doing such a fantastic job keeping up the offensive pressure right here. Secret tries to put it off that side wall and tries to get that secondary touch as well. Such good play by this solo attacker. Tobag knows that they have to have at least someone back here. They call the rotations back into defense, but a fantastic effort from Igor is just able to, like, a few of these players from CWC have just made these the sort of what seems like effortless 1vx plays. Zon goes straight for the shot, goes off the crossbar. Tobag is staying back, stays comfortable on that one and just keeps it out. KZ doesn't quite get the touch there. It comes off the backboard. It's up high. It's awkward for both teams, really. So they might just let it get the first touch. Dory flicks it over the top of the defender. Actually, Tobag does play with a bit more patience than we've seen this team playing with so far, and it rewards them handsomely. This midfield control is so good right now for the orange side. And Tobag almost gets a goal off it. It's 2v2 here in the corner, a very tight 2v2 as well, which the orange team have been favoring. That angle was so dirty. Look at this situation. So Tobag has this slightest little angle out from the corner, the absolute pull shot, and it still finds the smack bang center, the bullseye, so to speak, as we see the little cowboy finger guns. And here it is, CWIC back in control of a game for themselves. Right now, KZ tries to be the one to make this big play happen. They don't have the teammates behind them. Dory is there. Zon is even further back. But, you know, they need to break through this defensive line. Again, with a 0-second goal, always a possibility. You don't really want to sit on a 1-goal deficit, but you've got such little time left remaining for CWIC. I don't know if you have much choice. Dory tries to push this one up forward. They're trying to play it slowly to make sure that this attacking attempt is the right one. Dory goes for the demo, and it comes up clutch. If we have a look at this one, Dory flicks the ball off the corner, sets it up for KZ, try and make it a little bit trickier, takes out the player who could have come in for the rotational save. Secret was there covering the close ball. Secret was there ready in case the ball dropped a little bit lower. They had another player who was going to rotate off the wall to save the ball if it went forwards. Dory takes that player straight out of the equation, gets the demo and says, all right, no, this is at least an overtime, friends. But they want to put it, I want to change that one around to CWIC, but the ball goes against them. This drop, which could be awkward. It's KZ getting it with 6 seconds on the clock. They want to make the clean sweep happen. They saw their opponents do it in the last series, and now they want to give it a try. KZ, perfect play right across the field. And now the pressure is on CWIC. What do you have in this series? What can you break? What can you show us in the final 6 seconds? A kickoff goal would be so fantastic, but they have the rule too. They have that 0 second before the ball touches the ground. Igor keeps it up, at least for now. It's going to come off the corner kind of awkwardly, but they don't quite get the height of the touch. GSLC take the series in a 3-0 sweep. There's a saying, which everyone hates in the Smash community, which is 2-0, but it was close. And I understand why everyone hates that. I understand why people hate that phrase, but that was a bit of a 3-0, but it was close in points there. I think huge props to both teams once again. Fantastic series. Thank you so much for both of them for playing. It was an absolute, you know, honor to be able to watch this game. But we will have a little bit more coming back after this break. If I just double check my little schedule, we will, I believe, be having SMCC versus Southern Cross Maroon, which one of my favorite colors, so let's do it. And we are back once again as Dramatically Crosslit Fetch, bringing you all of the high school action from the AEL High School League presented by Predator. Of course, Acer's gaming laptop, which I've heard are very, very good. So, make sure to check out their websites. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Of course, we have our final series for today. 2 3-0 sweeps. Looking for a bit of a longer series in this one, but it's not like they haven't delivered, to be fair. You can't say that we haven't given you some really good quality Rocket League. Some good enough quality that I'm certainly impressed. I'm certainly impressed with what I'm seeing. But there shouldn't be too much of a delay before we jump into our game. Should be only a matter of moments before that happens. Yeah, it looks like both the team captains have said they're ready. Love to hear it. Love the coordination. Also, a small thing, but something I really appreciate is the fact that people have been doing exactly what I said. They've been waiting in lobbies, they've not been joining teams. I know that Rocket League is very confusing to manage, and they've all sort of not just figured it out, but done exactly the right things, and that is incredibly helpful. And it sounds kind of condescending that I'm saying that, but genuinely, it is actually something we really, really appreciate, because the number of times we had in like the regional leagues, like fully grown adults just being like, I'm just gonna hit play, and it was a disaster. But that's okay. These students, they're better than that. Here we are in our final match. It's going to be SMCC versus Southern Cross Maroon. I don't know much about these teams, right? I don't know a huge amount. I can sort of introduce them to you here. It's Chuck Munch, Red Hot Dragon, Rice is Nice, up against Flaming Shooter, Casuto, and Jonesy. Those are the players so far. Decent attacking effort. I was quite happy with that. Decent defensive effort as well. I think we've seen a bit of a back and forth again. We've said it twice today. May as well go for the trifecta. Lovely little pride flag, by the way, on Casuto. Definitely noticing that one. Big, first thing my eyes are drawn to. The big. Ooh, I lost what I was saying. That's right. The thing I have to say at the beginning of every series. Game 1 is about testing your opponents, seeing how they play, getting a sense of the rhythm of the game. Then Game 2 is when, everything gets absolutely ridiculous and wild, and Red Hot Dragon plays it slow and just flicks it in. Actually, that happened in Game 1, but yeah, I'm sure they'll have a chance at it in Game 2. Jonesy tries to get onto that one. Oh, Casuto does just knock the defender out because of Red Hot Dragon's little fake there. Well done. Good stuff coming in from this. From the side of SMCC. Unfortunate misstep on the defense, but these things happen. Red Hot Dragon wants to go for another one, and immediately Chuck Munch gets a goal straight away. I love that little bass note. A double bass note, I think it was cello, maybe. I don't know my string instruments too well. Oh, it's a tuba or a horn. I don't know. I'm bad at music. I should have just left it a bass note, and everyone would have been like, she's so smart, so intelligent, just knows what the the bass scale is. Knows the bass is the lower part of the scale. So clever. Had to go put my foot in it. Anyway, this game so far 2-0, pretty good start from SMCC. This is the sort of league you really like to have. You want to try and make sure you open it up and not just be relying on those 1-goal deficits, like we said, or 1-goal leads, like we said before. So I'm kind of liking the sort of style of play they're bringing to the table right at the moment. The fact their opponents are still contesting, still trying to fight them in a lot of these moments is good, and then we've seen it's sort of a bit of a 50-50 on this one for me. As we actually see Flying Shooter win a 50-50, brilliant timing, and the ball's going up higher. It could be an opportunity, but Jonesy and Casuto opt to leave that one back. They could be going a little bit more in the attack right at the moment. That could be something I'd like to see a little bit more from Southern Cross, but yeah, not happening at least just yet. They're kind of, again, maybe warming up in this series. I lost my previous point there. That's alright. Train of thought. That's how it happens. But, okay, yeah, no, there it is. Oh, actually, Chuck Munch gonna put it off the backboard. There might be the opportunity for a pass. Jonesy doesn't quite get it, but that's okay, because Flaming Shooter is back there. And actually, Jonesy picks up this pass, had a slight cheat forward almost, puts it in front of goals. The cross was so good, but Casuto wasn't quite there fast enough. Great flurry of attack from Southern Cross. They're going to flick the ball up high, and they actually do get it off the second one. Flaming Shooter does a great job of that one. But yeah, what I was going to say, actually, about Southern Cross is the fact that they've saved a couple of plays already, right? Flaming Shooter especially being that big clutch player on defense and able to finally put that last shot in. But it sort of, when you compliment a team's defense, like 2 minutes into a game, it kind of applies that they haven't been able to find clearances and have been really pressured on that defensive line. Big double commit though in the midfield might be a bit of a problem as Kasota, solo player back, does get the ball flicked out to them, is just able to kind of buy some space. Flaming Shooter might just push this one out. Isn't quite going to get a clearance, so it's Jonesy who flicks that one over the top of their mates. They have to make sure they're very careful not to set up some sort of double commit. Kasota goes out wide, puts the ball up high. It's not an ideal position depending on who can get to it. Rice is the first, but again, just can't put it in the center. But yeah, you know, if people are complimenting your defense really early in the game, it means you probably haven't got a lot of pressure elsewhere on the field. But hey, you know, it is a good thing to say. If you do have a good defense, you're not letting goals in, it's a good baseline to work from. Of course, O's a very attacking heavy region, but I like seeing a good structured defense from time to time. I think it's really cool. Jonesy tries to put the ball across the field for now, across the goal specifically, doesn't have anyone quite in the right position. Choc Munch and Rice both go up for it, a big double commit, and Red Hot Dragon is able to salvage that one for a little bit. Means the players are in position to sort of take a pass. Red Hot Dragon tries to put it in front of the goal as well, and Choc is there to just put it in the back of the net. 3-1 so far in this first game. So, yeah, again, it's sort of one team coming out of the gate really quickly, SMCC. As we've seen the trajectory of these games, momentum is pretty important. I still believe that a lot of that momentum comes from the second game. You know, double demo is actually coming through, 2v2 for the next little while. We'll wait for a couple of teammates to respawn. Rice is nice, going to go for that one. Actually, gets tripped over for a little bit, their teammate, and is going to be at risk of that pinch going through. It was a lovely pinch, but the angle wasn't quite there. Flaming Shooter tries to shepherd this one back out of the goal. Does so successfully, has a couple of passing options if things don't quite go well. Kasota just hanging around about that back post as all three players hanging back. Choc Munch doesn't quite make anything happen here, tries to flick it up high. Doesn't have really much in the way of teammates to work with. Is going to make this rotation back. Probably should have made that rotation back and left it for Rice. Both these teams tripping over their rotations just a little bit as 35 seconds comes through. Rice just straight up demos Kasota, but again, the play is so slow right at the moment, you have time to make that respawn. It's only a few seconds, so yeah, it doesn't mean too much. Very hard ask right here for this game to be won. I think this is probably sealed. Not technically impossible for the side of the Southern Cross, especially if they get a break like this, but it's looking a bit hard. Flaming Sword goes a little bit too far over. And with 12 seconds left, you got to think this is going to be game one going over to the side of SMCC. It looked a little bit closer as the game went on. Again, as the team sort of found themselves figured out how they needed to sort of play and approach their opponents. But nonetheless, still liked what I was seeing. So we'll get into that second game very soon. That one goal game advantage is obviously a pretty good start. You know, if you're not winning games, you're not winning series, but it's only one game at this point. I'm interested to see. I think again, so sorry to harp on this point too much, but I genuinely think that this second game is what's super important. Because you've kind of in the first game, you kind of lay the groundwork, right? You say, okay, this is what our opponents are doing, this is what we're doing. Obviously, if you're the team who's ahead, you don't really need to change too much. You kind of need to get a sense, wait to see what your opponents sort of likely to do, how they're likely to change their playstyle. But fundamentally, the most important thing is you kind of, if you're the team who's behind, you look at the things you were struggling with and you figure out how you can make them up. And also, you know, a part of that's kind of forgiving yourself because you are getting warm into the series often. Even if you've been playing solo queue or just scrims with your mates or even just ones or twos, you do still, it's a very different thing to get straight into tournament against a team. The mentality and everything like that is completely different. And a really nice play from Red Hot Dragon almost sets up the solo to make it work. Rice does get onto it. Flaming Shooter doesn't quite get this clearance out. The ball is in such an awkward position. It's right in front of goals, but it does get cleared out wide as Choc wants to try and get that one back through. Trying to set it up, just pass it off to a teammate, but they can't get it away from the defense. Again, I talked about it in the last series, when you have a team who wants to play a lot of space, just get in their face and make things awkward for them. Jonesy gets in it, put the ball in a pretty good position. It crosses, but Rice is the one who picks it up. That was really a 50-50 as to who was going to win that goal. Pretty much just a coin flip as to who got to it first. Red Dragon tries to put the shot on, but Kasota Does a good job of just clearing that one away. The backboard is open and available. Not the best touch from the defense, but it's okay because it was followed up very nicely on that clearance. And I said it, Game 2 is where the adaptations come in, and Game 2 is where you get a sense of how the series is really going to shape out. Right at the moment, the teams are playing much, much more kind of off each other. Kasoda, once again, kind of knocking a defender, knocking an ally. Same sort of mistake we saw a little bit in that smack down, the bounce pass over the top. Red Hot Dragon finds the opening score of the game, as they did. Well, they didn't miss. I don't remember if they found the opening score of the last game, but they have certainly scored quite a few in this series. So, huge credit to them. That was pretty nice. But I'm liking seeing how the slight differences are coming through. We've just got to make sure Southern Cross don't keep tripping over themselves. Flaming Shooter goes up high, tries to make the individual play happen. Can't quite get that second redirection, a double commit though. Red Hot Dragon, and I didn't see who else. Kasoda has an opportunity maybe. The defense is able to get back into position. Jonesy doesn't opt for the pass back to Flaming Shooter, who is going to be able to try and intercept this one on the halfway mark. They realize as the demo comes in, this might not be their attack anymore, so they're just going to hold possession while they wait for the players to respawn. Great stuff by Flaming Soldier to buy that, Flaming Shooter, sorry, to buy that time just a little bit longer. Rice is nice, cheated up there, above the halfway mark. Could do something a little bit dangerous with this one, but I'm not going to right there. Flaming Shooter and Kasoda. Sort of trying to play this duo. I think it's sort of interesting because like when the teammates of Southern Cross work together, they look quite good. I quite like it. Flaming Shooter, they're going to try to make the solo effort over the top of everybody to equalize this game. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left. 1 goal apiece. Ironically, the pace is actually kind of slowed down. Sorry, the scoring is slowed down as the pace is kind of picked up. The players trying to play off each other, trying to make more contests happen. They're trying to play midfield control a little bit more, which I've noticed. But the fact is that means the scoring slowed down because there's less, I guess, opportunities and less openings because the teams are trying to cover each other so well. Pass potential or a shot potential here from Chalk. And actually, Rice just flicks it in. It was a pass, but it wasn't the one we were expecting. So Chalk, you see there's a player off to the left. They try and cover that as well, but Rice just flies in from the side and just flicks it in. Great stuff to immediately put themselves back into the lead. Here we go. Red Hot Dragon going to carry the ball forward, actually. Looking to play it off the backboard as well. Rice is nice. Going to dribble it off the side. Tries to get individual play. Doesn't quite work through. This clear could be massive, but no one there to quite follow it up again. Southern Cross, they need to get a little bit more aggressive. If they keep playing back like this, it's going to look a little bit rough for them. It's not going to look quite as nice and clean as they might have liked in before. Chalk Munch again off Red Hot Dragon's setup. Look at this, just flick in. Not much the defenders can do when they're static in that position. If you don't already have someone making some big wide rotate, it just doesn't kind of work through for you. And yeah, that puts it at a 3-1 lead, and it looks like SMCC are taking control of this all-important game 2. Ooh, that's rough as well. Rice just sort of plays off the players instead. The players are expecting to have a little bit more space here. I don't think either of them saw Rice kind of coming after this awkward touch. Flaming Shooter did and tried to get them knocked. I tried to get the demo, but I don't think they'd quite built up enough speed. Bit of a series of unfortunate events there for the side of SMCC. But at the end of the day, those things just happen in Rocket League. You know, it's 1 goal. It's not something you can't make back potentially. The 3-goal deficit, that might look a little bit harder given how efficient the rotations have looked, I guess, from SMCC's side. Southern Cross right now, they are really sort of struggling to put shots on target even right at the moment because they're just not getting aggressive enough. Right now, his ball is being played out of the midfield. Jonesy does a good job of keeping that one at least a little bit more active. They're going to have to make a dangerous clear across the face. It does work out for them. And a little bit further out, and there was no one directly contesting. Jonesy picks up this pass. It could be big. Didn't quite get it as Red Hot Dragon just gets the intercept. Again, it's those passes which just need to connect. They need to make sure they're finding those, because that sort of seems to be the key to the game style. Chalk Munch doesn't find the redirection. It was a lovely touch on the ball, just not quite lovely enough. The 50 comes in. Flaming Shooter calls it and almost gets the ball straight forward. Jonesy there for the backup, goes off the crossbar. He'll go for the 1-2-1 play, 1-2-3 play, I should say. Doesn't quite work through. Flaming Shooter tries to put that one up high. Tries to go for it, and that gentle little lob back. Flaming Shooter almost does miracles with that one, but Rice is nice. Plays that advantage just perfectly. Jonesy burned out on that attack. Rice flicks it over the top. Flaming Shooter tries to be there. And the quick taps off the backboard are just a little bit too much. 5-1 right now. I think SMCC might have run away with this one. Jonesy actually tries to just chip it straight forward. Flaming Shooter there to cover it. Goes straight down. Flaming Shooter just dunks it in incredibly well. Having a look at this one. So Jonesy's shot was really good. It comes off the crossbar just for Flaming Shooter to drop it straight in. That is the perfect combination. And I know I certainly couldn't pull that off if I tried, even in a training mode. That's incredible. Casoda looking for a kickoff goal as well. Maybe this team is not done. 44 seconds left remaining. Even if they can't quite find all of the goals they need to pull themselves back into this game, at least understanding and figuring out how well they can meet their aggression is going to be so important. I think if they lose this, as I say, you know, when you go down sort of 2-0 like that, it's so hard to make the reverse sweep. It's so hard to kind of find that courage, or find that confidence, I guess, to really still consider yourselves the better team in the game when you have just been sort of shown up quite convincingly in 2 games in a row. But I like the fact that Southern Cross, we're not seeing signs of that just yet. Flaming Shooter already up, getting aggressive, going to try and force this one across, but Rice is nice, just comes through the last second. Defense shaking a little bit for SMCC, which we hadn't seen quite as much of earlier on. So signs of potential for Southern Cross. Again, it's hard. It's incredibly hard right here. It's not an easy shot for them at all. Nope, that was wrong. But it is doable. It is doable, you know? So, Southern Cross. Up against it a bit, it's fair to say. SMCC in control of this game. And yeah, this third one, this could be potentially our last match of the night. Southern Cross hoping to continue the stream at least a little bit longer, you know, and it's going to be Shock Munch trying to shut down that kickoff goal. We'll try and play it out of this corner. They have the ability to make something big here if they find the angles, but Rice just not committing to that one as Jonesy just gets the better of it off the connection. Might be able to push it through the corner there, keep playing it, gets a bit of a knock onto their opponent. Onto Shock Munch specifically, Flaming Shooter gets the dispossession. They were playing a little bit too slow with it there with Shock Munch, but nothing else going to come for it. The 3-car unit just pulling forward, trying to, you know, give themselves those tight passing opportunities, which they can make the most of. And here it is, Red Hot Dragons gets the better of that one, gets it off the corner. Wasn't quite the touch they might have liked. Flaming Shooter's going to try and make a clearance. It didn't have the speed. It didn't have the momentum to keep the ball out of this defensive line, and Shock Munch is going to go straight back for it. A big clearance here. Could be massive. And actually, here might be it, but they weren't quite able to find the speed as Shock Munch is going to go for the clearance. They can play it off the corner, but again, Red Hot Dragon just kind of predicts that play, gets him a little bit early. The defense a little bit unsure of what to do. They're just kind of trying to play it slowly, and no punish coming in from Southern Cross. They just can't build up that momentum on the attack just yet. Right to the flicker of the top. They try and lob it over. Bryce just gets a very, very nice touch on that one. Red Hot Dragon trying to play it through the midfield. This midfield is so key to setting up both attack and having your rotations through to the defense. If you can have the stronger play there, you can just keep the ball set up in the exact position you want. You can demo attackers as they try and set up their own attack on that topic. Red Hot Dragon is going to be taken out of the play for a little bit longer. Opportunity for possibly a demo, but a bit of an open goal for a second. The angle wasn't quite there, and Casoda gets a demo as well onto Chalk. So really trying to do anything they can to shut down this attack, but they need to find a clearance right here for Southern Cross, else SMCC are just going to have free reign to do whatever they want. This might be it, but Flaming Shooter just keeping it out. And again, credit to Southern Cross's defense that they are so well able to kind of keep that ball just out of the goal, but they need to be putting it up more aggressively. That the aggressive part, the actual scoring goals and attacking, that's what I want to see them do right here. Flaming Shooter tries to carry the ball out wide a little bit. Red Hot Dragon just picks up in the midfield once again. That midfield control leading to a flip reset, leading to almost a very fantastic goal, but Flaming Shooter is able to put a bit of a stop to that one. Didn't quite have the height either. Rice is nice, going to try and waterfall the shot down. It's too good. Red Hot Dragon scores yet another opener. Ooh, it might be a kickoff opportunity here. It goes a little bit wide. No one there to quite go aggressive on it to Southern Cross. I didn't think they're quite ready to see what... They were quite on top of where that ball was going to go. Rice is nice. Now, what's on the top? Flaming Shooters pass it out wide. Doesn't get waterfalled by Red Hot Dragon, but the right position there. The idea is good. Choc Munchie goes for the Musty. Don't actually know if it was a Musty, but rule 2 of AEL broadcast, if it's a flip, it's Musty. That's just it. So, lovely Musty shot there. Rice is nice now. Has another opportunity. Passed off to Choc Munch. Doesn't actually get quite the right angle, so he's just going to give this one up and try and take a repossession afterwards. Red Hot Dragon didn't get the waterfall they might have liked. Rice is nice. Again, these rotates back. Something I want to compliment SMCC with. Something they're doing so well is rotating back in the defensive line. They never overcommit, but they're still finding themselves great opportunities. Red Hot Dragon showing exactly how, rotating out of that right wing midfield area. And they are able to make quick plays like this without committing all 3 of their players up. It's something which Southern Cross struggle with. It's something which a lot of players struggle with. But SMCC seem to have a mastery of it far beyond the level of Rocket League I'd expect them to be playing at this sort of level. Far beyond the level of Rocket League I could play again. But yeah, if I was a coach, if I'm the coach of the SMCC side, and if they are indeed the second squad, this is quite incredible. Pardon me. If I'm the coach of the SMCC side, broadcast hiccups, they're much better when you have someone to take the mic away. So just excuse me for 1 second. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good now. Thank you everyone for staying with me. Yeah, if you're the coach of SMCC, you are so happy with these rotations. You are so happy with how they're able to divide the defense and attack. Might not be happy with that shot on target on goal, but it's one shot amongst many you've taken this game. Of course, Southern Cross as well, doing really well in defense. They've had a few lapses, but where there are so many attacks coming at them from so many different angles, you kind of can't blame them for that one. Especially huge credit to Flaming Shooter for being able to, and credit to all the players. They've all had their roles. They played a much more role-play kind of style than some of the other teams we've seen. Oh, that one goes straight on top of the defenders. Red Hot Dragon gets jinked. Jonesy just finds it. Red Hot Dragon was the name on my screen, so I said that. My apologies. It was Jonesy who found that goal. And it was fantastic. It was quite fast off the wall as well. They had very little speed coming into that play, and they've brought it within 1 goal. Remember, the play doesn't stop until the ball hits the ground after the 0-second mark, that is. So you still have a potential time. 1 goal lead is not enough in Rocket League. We always say it. But right now, SMCC, they have possession. They have some room to play with. Southern Cross just have to get aggressive. They have to play it. They have to try and find that 1 goal to keep themselves in this series. With 18 seconds left, though, it has to be done relatively soon, and it has to be done pretty quickly. Here is a potential breakaway. 9 seconds left. The defender is up there, so there's not really a breakaway with 5 seconds left. The thing which keeps them in the game right here is keeping the ball up, but there's no one there. It's in no man's land. SMCC second team take first place in this series. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. The pun was right there. The wordplay was too easy. But it is SMCC second, taking themselves a series. And in fantastic effort, a fantastic fashion as well. Hopefully, you enjoyed all of those games. That's my mic, that's my camera. Gotta remember that one for next time. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed all of those games. I believe that's all for now for all of us, unless I've counted really badly. No, that's right. Players leaving the lobby. They stuck around for a while, and some of them readied up, so I was a bit unsure. But yeah, so that was all of our games for today. All 3-0 series, but some really fantastic stuff in between. I think it's so awesome to see the level of talent coming in from the high school leagues. That's going to feed into our uni leagues. That's going to feed into pro play. I think it's so awesome how good the sort of from amateur, complete beginner playing with your mates all the way up to pro play Rocket League, sort of the path in Rocket League is. And I think that this is exemplifying, seeing some of these players and how good they are is exemplifying that. And huge credit to everyone who came up and participated. Thank you so much for Nitro as well for filling in, doing marshalling and adminning duties, because normally there'd be 2 of us, so we'd be able to do that, but I'm trying to click all the buttons here. So, I really appreciate him stepping up. Again, thank you for the teams. Thank you for of course, the high schools who entered, and all of our sponsors who you can see above me: ViewSonic, Chatime, AOC, Indomie, Rig, Intel, Predator, of course, brought to you by Intel. And thank you all of you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been a really great time. I think I really love a casual Saturday morning Rocket League. And keep an eye on all of our social medias. Mine is at @the_far_fetched. Of course, I think it's at AU Esports League on Twitter for, of course, AEL. And we'll have all sorts of other tournaments, all sorts of other games at different levels, and also opportunities, I'm sure, for everyone at home to get involved. So thank you so much for sticking with us, for hopefully enjoying the broadcast as much as we did. It was a great, fun time. And I'll see you all later, I'm sure.